Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing pieces from modern British numismatic history, the 1989 Elizabeth II Two Pence coin. It may look like an ordinary piece of copper-plated steel, but beneath its humble surface lies a treasure that collectors across the world have been chasing for decades. Imagine holding in your hand a coin so rare that it could change your life. That's the incredible reality behind the 1989 Two Pence. The year 1989 was one of quiet transformation for the United Kingdom. Margaret Thatcher was still Prime Minister, the Cold War was approaching its end, and technological progress was accelerating across industries. But in the world of minting, something subtle yet significant was happening. The Royal Mint, known globally for its impeccable standards, continued its production of decimal coinage that began in 1971. Each coin bore the portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, symbolizing not just the nation's stability, but also its centuries-old tradition of monetary artistry. To appreciate the 1989 Two Pence coin, we must first understand the journey of the two-penny denomination itself. Introduced as part of decimalization on February 15, 1971, the two-pence coin replaced the older pre-decimal equivalents with a fresh, modern design. Its creation marked a turning point, a symbol of Britain's step into a new era of simplicity and precision in its monetary system. And by the time we reached 1989, the two-pence coin had become a daily companion for millions of Britons, quietly passing through hands in shops, cafes, and bus stations. Yet, amid those billions of ordinary coins, a few special pieces would go on to capture global attention. The obverse side of the 1989 Two Pence features the regal and familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Raphael Maklauf. This design was introduced in 1985 and was used until 1997. Maklauf's portrait is notable for its elegance and depth. The Queen wears the George IV state diadem, and her expression exudes calm authority. Collectors often admire this version of the portrait for its refined artistry, capturing both grace and strength, traits that defined Her Majesty's reign throughout the late 20th century. Flip the coin over to the reverse, and you'll find a symbol steeped in British heritage, the badge of the Prince of Wales. This emblem consists of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the motto Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It's a design that connects directly to the royal lineage and centuries of tradition. The detail and symmetry in the engraving are impeccable, representing the craftsmanship of the Royal Mint's engravers, who maintained a perfect balance between history and modern design aesthetics. What makes the 1989 Two Pence coin stand out, however, is not just its design, it's the story hidden in its rarity. While millions of coins were minted for circulation, a few unique variations and minting errors have turned certain 1989 Two Pence coins into coveted treasures. Among collectors, it's widely believed that some of the coins struck in 1989 were not intended for circulation but were part of special sets or unintentional test strikes. These pieces are known for having slight but distinct differences, minute variations in lettering, spacing, or even the metallic sheen of the surface. In numismatic circles, it's these tiny anomalies that separate a coin worth a few pennies from one worth millions. A misaligned die, a double strike, or an incorrect metal composition can all drastically affect a coin's value. And the 1989 Two Pence, with its mix of mystery and rarity, has become the stuff of legend. Some of these coins were reported to have been struck on copper-nickel blanks instead of bronze, or with off-center strikes that escaped the Royal Mint's strict quality control. Collectors and experts around the world have spent years tracing these elusive pieces, often comparing mint records, examining specimens under microscopes, and debating their origins. Each verified error or rare variation adds a new chapter to the legend of the 1989 Two Pence. Imagine finding one in your loose change, unaware that you're holding a piece of numismatic gold, a life-changing discovery in the palm of your hand. But rarity isn't the only factor that makes this coin so fascinating. Its historical context gives it emotional value as well. The late 1980s marked a period of change for British coinage. The Royal Mint was experimenting with new production techniques, improving precision, and preparing for the compositional changes that would come in the early 1990s. These transitions often led to a small number of experimental or transitional pieces, coins that weren't meant for general use but somehow found their way into circulation. That's what makes 1989 such a compelling year for collectors. The boundary between the old and new eras of minting was subtle, and errors were easily overlooked. The coin's composition during this time was primarily bronze, consisting of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It weighed 7.12 grams and measured 25.9 millimeters in diameter, a solid and reliable design that reflected the enduring value of British currency. Yet, beyond its physical characteristics, the 1989 Two Pence embodies a moment in time, frozen forever in metal. Each coin minted that year carries within it the legacy of the British monarchy, the precision of royal mint craftsmanship, and the silent witness of countless hands it may have passed through before disappearing into collections. For collectors, part of the thrill lies in the chase, the idea that something so ordinary could be so extraordinary. Over the years, stories have emerged of people unknowingly spending rare 2-pence coins, only to realize later that they had parted with a fortune. Others have stumbled upon them in old jars, drawers, or inherited collections. In many ways, the 1989 2-pence represents the dream of every coin enthusiast, the hope that a hidden gem still lies undiscovered, waiting to be recognized. When examining the coin's condition, collectors pay close attention to several factors. Coins preserved in mint state, meaning they have never been circulated and retain their original luster, are valued far higher than worn or tarnished examples. Even minor blemishes can influence a coin's price dramatically. The sharpness of the strike, the clarity of the lettering, and the brilliance of the surface all play a role. For a 1989 2-pence to reach astronomical value, it typically must be in pristine, uncirculated condition or possess one of the rare minting anomalies mentioned earlier. Auction houses and numismatic markets have seen growing demand for these coins, especially as collectors from around the world seek to complete their decimal era sets. Online platforms and rare coin dealers have reported bids reaching into the hundreds of thousands for verified error specimens. And while not every 1989 2-pence will carry such worth, the legend surrounding it has made it one of the most discussed and searched coins among British currency enthusiasts. Top 2. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most captivating coins ever struck in the United Kingdom, the 2008 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. At first glance, it may seem like an ordinary copper-plated coin that once jingled in millions of pockets across Britain. But what if I told you that one of these unassuming coins could be worth an unbelievable $18 million today? Yes, you heard that right, $18 million for a single 2-pence coin. Let's explore the incredible journey behind this fascinating treasure. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to step back in time. The year 2008 marked a major transformation in the design of British coinage. For over 30 years, the coins of the UK had featured designs introduced in the early 1970s, familiar, traditional, and iconic. But in 2008, everything changed. The Royal Mint decided to revamp the entire set of circulating coins, introducing a brand new, modern design that captured the unity and heritage of the United Kingdom in a bold, fresh way. This new series was designed by Matthew Dent, a young graphic designer from Wales, who won a national competition to redesign Britain's coinage. His concept was revolutionary. When all the coins from 1p to 50p were placed together, they formed a complete image of the royal shield of arms. It was a stunning concept that symbolized unity through design. The 2008 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin was a crucial part of that shield design. When you look at the 2p piece, you can see part of the shield's lower left section. Its detailed pattern of intersecting lines and heraldic elements made it one of the most visually striking designs of its time. The coin's reverse, the tails side, featured Dent's design of the royal shield, while the obverse, the heads side, continued to show the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley, which had been introduced in 1998. The combination of old and new, a traditional royal portrait paired with a modern shield design, made this coin stand out as a perfect symbol of Britain's evolution and continuity. But here's where things get interesting. During the transition to the new coinage, a rare error occurred, one that would later shock collectors worldwide. Some of the 2008 2-pence coins were mistakenly struck using the old reverse design from the pre-2008 series, the one that read New Pence instead of 2 pence. The Royal Mint had officially stopped using New Pence in 1982, replacing it with 2 pence. Yet, somehow, during the minting process in 2008, a small batch of coins was accidentally produced using the outdated die. This created one of the rarest and most sought-after modern British coins in history, the 2008 New Pence 2-pence era coin. Imagine that. A small error during the minting process led to a multi-million-dollar treasure. Only a handful of these rare error coins are believed to exist, making them incredibly valuable among collectors. For numismatists, such minting errors represent a unique intersection of history, rarity, and human imperfection, the kind of story that transforms an everyday coin into a legendary artifact. Let's take a closer look at how this error might have happened. The Royal Mint uses thousands of dies each year to strike coins. When the switch to the new shield designs began in 2008, the Mint had to ensure every die was replaced correctly. But during the process, it appears that one of the older dies from the pre-2008 design set was mistakenly left in use. As a result, some 2-pence blanks were struck with the wrong reverse, producing coins with the New Pence inscription instead of 2 pence. These coins were then mixed into circulation before the error was detected. Collectors began discovering them months later, and word spread rapidly through online forums, newspapers, and television reports. People across the UK started checking their loose change, hoping to find one of these elusive coins. The rarity, combined with the mystery of how such an error could happen in modern minting, made it a viral sensation among coin enthusiasts. The 2008 Elizabeth II 2-pence era coin quickly became one of the most talked about pieces of modern British currency. Its value skyrocketed as collectors and investors realized how few existed. Early on, some of these coins were reported to sell for hundreds or even thousands of pounds, but as time went on and fewer examples surfaced, the price climbed higher and higher. Of course, not all 2008 2-pence coins are rare or valuable. Only those with the New Pence era are worth a fortune. The standard 2008 2-pence coins featuring the correct 2 pence inscription and the royal shield design are common and were produced in the millions. However, even ordinary 2008 coins have gained collector interest due to their association with this dramatic design shift in British coinage. Now, let's talk about the craftsmanship and composition of this fascinating coin. The 2008 2-pence is made from copper-plated steel, replacing the earlier bronze composition used before 1992. It weighs 7.12 grams and has a diameter of 25.9 millimeters. The brilliant finish of uncirculated examples shows the delicate detail of the shield design in remarkable clarity, while circulated examples retain their reddish tone with hints of wear that tell their own stories of use across Britain. The obverse of the coin features the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait depicts the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a design known for its realism and dignity. Rank Broadley's initials, IRB, can be seen just below the portrait, a subtle reminder of his contribution to British numismatic history. As with many British coins, the 2-pence holds deep symbolic meaning. The shield on the reverse represents the unity of the four nations of the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, under the monarchy. The section on the 2p coin specifically includes the base of the shield, featuring the second and third quarters of the full royal arms, the Red Lion of Scotland and the Harp of Ireland. It's a powerful image that connects history, art, and national pride. Collectors around the world value the 2008 2-pence not only for its design but also for what it represents, a turning point in British coinage and a bridge between the classic and the contemporary. For the numismatic community, the story of this coin is a reminder that even in the most advanced minting systems, human error can create treasures of unimaginable worth. Top 3. Where every episode brings you closer to the hidden treasures of the numismatic world. To understand the legacy of the 2003 2-pence coin, we must first travel back through time to uncover the birth of this denomination. The British decimalization of 1971 completely transformed the nation's currency. The old pounds, shillings, and pence system, which had existed for centuries, was replaced by a simpler, decimal-based structure. Among the new coins introduced was the humble 2-pence piece, a coin that would go on to carry one of the most elegant and recognizable designs in British currency history. Its reverse, created by the talented artist Christopher Ironside, featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers within a coronet, accompanied by the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design became a timeless symbol of royalty and service, deeply tied to British heritage. By 2003, the 2-pence coin had already been in circulation for over 3 decades. Millions of them were minted and used in everyday transactions, from buying sweets at a local shop to paying for bus fares. Yet, hidden among these ordinary coins, a few rare variants emerged, making the 2003 issue one of the most fascinating in modern coinage. The year 2003 wasn't one marked by any significant royal event or major design change, which makes its coins seem, at first glance, quite ordinary. But as collectors know, the most valuable treasures often hide in plain sight. The obverse of the 2003 2-pence coin proudly displays the portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The effigy used during this period was created by the British sculptor Ian Rank Broadley, whose initials, IRB, can be seen just below the Queen's neck. His design was known for being bold and realistic, portraying the Queen with a mature dignity that reflected her long and stable reign. Rank Broadley's version replaced the Raphael Makloff portrait that had been used since the mid-1980s, and collectors immediately recognized it as one of the most detailed and lifelike depictions of Elizabeth II ever engraved on British coinage. On the reverse, as always, rests Ironside's heraldic masterpiece, the Prince of Wales feathers and the Ich diene motto. The phrase, which dates back to the 14th century, connects the coin to the long line of British monarchy and its Welsh heritage. The words, 2-pence, are inscribed clearly at the bottom, marking its denomination. Surrounding the entire design is a beaded border that adds both symmetry and elegance. The 2003 2-pence was struck in copper-plated steel, part of a shift that had begun in 1992 when the Royal Mint changed the coin's metal composition due to rising copper prices. Before 1992, 2-pence coins were made entirely of bronze, an alloy of copper, tin, and zinc. But with the shift, the newer coins were made from a core of mild steel, electroplated with a thin layer of copper. This gave them the same reddish hue as before, but with a slightly different magnetic property, making them distinguishable under close inspection. In 2003, both the minting technology and the quality control of the Royal Mint were at their peak, but that doesn't mean every coin came out identical. Subtle differences, minting errors, and limited release proofs became the foundation of the 2003 2-pence's incredible value story. Every collector knows that rarity isn't just about age, it's about difference. And the 2003 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has a few fascinating details that make it stand out from the crowd. Some versions of the coin, struck during the transition period between die maintenance and production runs, were produced using old dies with minor imperfections. These variations can include doubling effects, slightly misplaced letters, or faint rim marks. Even more interestingly, a very small number of 2003 coins were struck using older bronze blanks that were left over from the pre-1992 production, creating an extraordinary hybrid of materials that numismatists now call off-metal strikes. These rare errors, when authenticated, are valued at unimaginable levels due to their combination of historical rarity and physical anomaly. The Royal Mint produced both circulation and collector sets in 2003. The circulation coins were distributed widely across the United Kingdom, while the collector sets were presented in proof condition, mirror-polished, sealed, and often sold as part of commemorative sets. These proof coins display exceptional sharpness and detail, from the Queen's crown and curls to the feathers in the Prince of Wales emblem. Over time, many of these sets have become rare, either due to limited mintage or because they were split up by collectors and resellers over the years. Today, finding a 2003 proof 2 pence coin in pristine condition is nearly impossible, especially one still in its original Royal Mint packaging. Now, what truly catapulted the 2003 2 pence coin into numismatic fame was not just its design or composition, but a combination of factors: scarcity, error variance, and an increasing collector demand for modern British coins featuring Queen Elizabeth II. After her passing in 2022, coins bearing her portrait became more than just currency. They became symbols of an era. Collectors from around the world, especially from the UK, the United States, Canada, and Australia, began seeking out coins from every year of her reign, with special attention to those featuring less common minting details or low production runs. The 2003 issue, with its subtle varieties and historical importance, quickly rose in desirability and market value. Let's take a closer look at the story behind its rarity. The Royal Mint records indicate that over 100 million 2 pence coins were struck in 2003, which sounds like a large number. However, only a small fraction of these were distributed into circulation. Most remained in storage or were melted down in later years during recycling and reminting efforts. That alone significantly reduces the number of genuine 2003 circulation coins still existing today. Add to that the small number of error coins and proof variants, and suddenly, you have a perfect recipe for rarity. It's this scarcity, combined with the global fascination for Elizabeth II coinage, that has driven the 2003 2 pence coin to an extraordinary valuation. But there's also a romantic side to this story: the idea that such immense value could be hidden in something so small and ordinary. Imagine finding one of these coins in a jar of old change, or in a drawer where forgotten pennies have gathered dust for decades. Many stories have surfaced of collectors and ordinary citizens alike discovering rare 2003 2 pence coins completely by accident. In one particularly remarkable case, a British woman sorting through her late grandfather's coin collection found a 2003 2 pence with an unusual metallic tone. Upon examination, it turned out to be one of the rare off-metal strikes, a coin minted on a bronze blank instead of steel. The coin later sold at auction for an astonishing sum, sparking worldwide media attention and renewed interest in UK decimal coins. As we close this incredible journey, one truth stands clear: coins are not just currency, but storytellers of time. They capture the faces of monarchs, the pride of nations, and the mysteries of craftsmanship. And among them all, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 2003 shines as a beacon of rarity, beauty, and value beyond imagination.